Would I rather have my farm help driving the Kubota or driving this? I'd rather have them in the Kubota because they can't go 60 miles an hour. This thing will get on down the road. It is a utility and a sport. Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another gorgeous day here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. It's windy on the other side of that building, but it's really nice right here. So come along today, we're gonna talk about the various UTVs and ATVs that we have on the farm and what might be right for you and your large piece of property or recreation or both. So come along as we talk a little bit about each machine, what it does, what purpose it serves, cost, and usability here on the property. Woo! You smart doggy. Sit down and give me a hug. Sit down and give me a hug. Yes, sir. Good morning, buddy. How are you today? It's Buddy. He's a good boy. Yes, sir. Go get the possum. Go get that possum. That's Buddy, that's the farm dog. Awesome dog, guys. So we've got a lot of equipment to talk about today. Welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time here, your 50 millionth time, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Love to have you back. We are at the Mega Shop and we're on a 150-acre first generation farm. This is gonna be a barn dominium soon. We're gonna build it, so watch it on the channel. It's gonna be fun. We also have 50 cows, a bunch of chickens, and all kinds of cool stuff. Homesteading, farming, hot rods, and all that stuff. Right here are all the ATVs and UTVs for the farm, and I recently upgraded some stuff. So we're gonna kind of walk around and we're gonna talk about the uses of each one of these pieces of equipment on the farm and what might be right for you on your property. So, starting with the Kubota. Here we are, this is a Kubota RTV. This is particularly the RTV X1140. It is a 24.8-ish horsepower Kubota diesel machine, and it is powered by a transaxle that is hydrostatic. In other words, that's something super important, and we'll learn about hydrostatic here in just a minute. It's more of a tractor platform. So let's walk around this critter and show you what we've got. The X1140 has a convertible bed that will seat 4 or 5 legally, maybe 6, maybe 7 if you got little kids, if you're stuffing them on your UTV. But let's show you what we've got here. So again, this is the RTV X1140 from Kubota. I do believe this is a 2017 or 2016 model. We bought this after we had a John Deere Gator, and I just was absolutely disappointed in the quality of the John Deere Gator. Now, that's not to say John Deere Gator isn't the right machine for you. It may be the right machine for you. I just didn't like my John Deere Gator, and I think they made some vast improvements on those Gators. We've got an awesome Gator review, and I'll post that at the end of this video. So, this little Kubota RTV X1140 has really held up well. We've got about 450 hours on this machine. You can tell it's just clean as a whistle. I just had it cleaned up, and I don't use it a lot because I use the Honda all the time now. This is a great machine for a farm. This is a great machine for a construction job site. This is a great machine for people that don't want their helpers, their farm help, or their workers going 90 miles an hour, because about the max speed that I've gotten out of this is about 26 to 27 miles per hour. It's not a fast machine, but it is an absolute diesel beast. It will pull down a house. It's really, really reliable. It always starts. I haven't started it in months, and I went in and hit the key. It didn't even turn over half a turn before it fired right up. Now, let's fire it up and show you guys some of the features here. Basically an automatic transmission, kind of. So we've got tilt steering, there's your little tilt thing right there. We've got high and low and reverse, pretty simple stuff. We've got our park brake over here. We've got no horn, but that's an option. And our lights are right there. Cup holders, cup holders. I put external mirrors on. I had the top put on. Little speaker, nice rear view mirror. That is an essential item right there to have on any UTV. This is a phone mount, and this is your air conditioning. So you loosen that critter right there, slide that to the side, closes it off, makes it awesome for keeping you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Now, this is not without its faults, and you can see I'm kind of spinning my nut right here just a little bit. Not sure what's going on there. Always something to fix. So let's turn the key on, and we'll fire this critter up, put it in neutral. See how quickly and smoothly it fires up, and that thing just does absolutely awesome. You've got waterproof storage or water resistant storage in here. I always keep a few things in. Lighters, flashlights, earplugs, all sorts of stuff. A $20 bill in there. There's a $20 bill in there, so if we get out and we need fuel, we've got it covered. I also keep a little flashlight. This is a little Surefire flashlight I keep on this critter. We've got some storage under the seat. I have found that this seat box hasn't really held up too good. Just to show you, it's broken in the center. This is a replacement piece right here, and it basically simply lifts right out. I had it detailed, but evidently that detail did not include cleaning up under there. That's pretty funny. It did, however, include that sticker being pulled off. Thanks, Greg. I think that sticker came from right here. We put a little bit too much slime on there. Now, close this guy down. We'll close this guy down. This is a system that folds down. So there is a back seat, and you can see when we detailed it, we didn't have the had the back seat folded down, so this didn't get clean, but that's how good it cleans up. So this is a bed that's driven hydraulically. Let's start the machine and show you that real quick. Okay, so right here, I just raise up, and that's our dump bed. Really, really cool. Love this machine. It's super tough. I love the tires on it. I love the accessibility of the battery, the storage. Every single thing about this machine is awesome, with the exception of it's so slow that snails outrun it. Now, let's move on to the machine that I like the most here on the farm, the one that I really use the most when it comes to hauling people. And that's what the difference is in these side-by-sides versus these ATVs. If you've got a family, you probably want to look at getting a side-by-side with 4, 5, or 6 seats, and this is the Pioneer 1006. I'm your #1 Honda fanboy. I'm a huge fanboy of Honda. I do like the Kubota for sure, but I am a huge fanboy of Honda. This is the Honda 2023 Pioneer 1006. This is an awesome machine, guys. This has been instrumental in the farm, and it does just about the same work that Kubota will do. Would I rather have my farm help driving the Kubota or driving this? I'd rather have them in the Kubota because they can't go 60 miles an hour. This thing will get on down the road. It is a utility and a sport. So in other words, you can take it out on the trails on the weekends and beat the snot out of it, or you can ride around on the farm hauling fence posts and stuff like that, generators, whatever you want, and beat the snot out of it on the farm. Honda means reliability and affordability. I love the Honda ATV lineup and the UTV lineup. So let's show you this critter right here. I've had it for almost a year now, and we've got a few cool little features we need to show you. So when it says Honda, it means reliability and it means dependability. This has the dual clutch transmission setup, the same dual clutch transmission setup, very similar to a couple of these ATVs we're going to show you in just a second. Very strong looking, robust tires, fancy wheels. You don't have to get the fancy wheels and fancy tires, but I love these. They hold up to turf really well, and it actually has a turf mode, so we'll talk about that too. The door handle, people go up to this thing all the time, like, how do I get in? What do I do? It's right here. You just click the door handle right here. I have found, you got a cup holder right there, you got more accoutrements in this. Cup holder, cup holder, cup holder, cup holder, net, storage. You have to slam the door in order for it to not rattle. If you just shut it like this, it'll kind of rattle just a little bit. So that's something to know. I do find that new riders or users will have to slam the door a couple times before they learn that. Just don't be scared of it. It is Honda. Watch this. That's as hard as I can slam it. You ain't gonna hurt that thing. Now, back seat, same way. This thing comes with these nets on here. I haven't taken the nets off the back just for safety's sake. This is the handle for the dump bed. Simply lift the handle and the dump bed is spring loaded, so it will dump back. But we've got a lot of stuff in here right now. I don't want to dump it. As you can tell, I've been doing some fence work and all sorts of stuff. This is the machine I use the most often on the farm, especially when I have to haul some stuff. Just like the Kubota, we got a 2-inch receiver in the rear, and the Kubota has one in the front, which is awesome for moving equipment around. The handles are something that are just super simplistic on the tailgate of this machine. Just super simple. This is a hard, heavy-duty ABS plastic, and if you break it, it's inexpensive to replace. Again, Honda reliability and Honda affordability. You have a power outlet in the back right here, which is super cool. That does not have a power outlet in the back. This has a smaller bed, and it's full-time 1006. In other words, it seats 6. It's set up with seat belts for 3 in the front and 3 in the back. Let's get in here in the cockpit and show you guys what we've got here. The service light's on. It's due for its second oil change now. Turn the key on. You hear the fuel injection. Buddy thinks we're going for a ride. We'll fire it up. So Honda comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff. You've got automatic transmission, manual transmission, tow haul. These are accessories, okay? And then there's other blank spots for your other switches. We have 1,073 miles. We're not going for a ride yet, buddy. We got 1,000 miles on this. This has adjustable steering also. Where is the handle for that critter? Right there. Okay, I can't do it one-handed. Have to have 2 hands. It has paddle shifters. So that dual clutch transmission, you can set it in manual and tow haul. You have turf mode, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive diff lock. This has 4-wheel drive diff lock also, and 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. This one has a little radio set up in here. It's all Bluetooth, so you can use it. This makes more sense to me. It's more like a car. Park, reverse, neutral, high, and low. I like that. I like that it's like a car. You don't have to relearn how to drive. Honda, baby. I really, really like it. Got lots of space in the floorboard. I wear a size 14 shoe. If that tells you anything about all the space in the floorboard of this machine, both in the front and in the rear. So being a big fella, you oftentimes don't fit so good in the back seat of a side-by-side. This has a comfortable little bar you can hold on to. It's got some little scratches on it there where I had some headphones hanging. But I really, really like this machine. Underneath the seat, you can access various things. You can flip the bed back, change the oil, everything like that. We do have an accessory up here. It's a interior light. I have found that interior light gets to blinking just a little bit sometimes, and it doesn't work just right. You can accessorize these machines in any way, shape, or form, guys. I do have a new windshield, and I recommend if you get one of these, or any side-by-side, get a full windshield, okay? And I also got the windshield wiper kit for this because in the wintertime, this thing will blow your eyeballs super dry, and in the summertime too. If you're out on the trails and you're wearing a helmet and stuff like that, it's all good. You should probably always wear a helmet with all these machines, but I just simply don't do that out here on the farm. Now let's move on to the ATVs. We've got 3 different types of ATVs. By the way, if you have any questions about any of these, please post them, okay, guys? I'm happy to answer any question you might have. We're gonna start with the blue one and work our way back to camo. So all 3 of these ATVs are Honda Foremans. This is a Foreman Rubicon. This is a standard Foreman with power steering, and this is a Foreman Rubicon. I would not buy a Honda Foreman without power steering, and I also would not buy a side-by-side without power steering. That John Deere Gator we had didn't have power steering, but it had a power dump bed. What you gonna use more? You tell me, your power dump or your power steering? What's $700 well spent? Power steering, not power dump, okay? You can just dump it back. It's very well balanced. So let's look at this ATV. Now I recently picked up this little Honda and I just upgraded it. These are Titan racks. These are Kolpin racks, and there are differences in these racks. We'll talk about them. This 4-wheeler was not very well cared for. You can see it must have got stuck somewhere. It was picked up or lifted up. It's got some dents and dings, and when I bought this, it only had right around 20 hours on it, guys, and it had already been abused. So when you buy a used unit, be sure you're buying something that's been well taken care of, like this one over here. Had a good reason for getting rid of it. There was no good reason for this guy to get rid of this 4-wheeler, and I think maybe it's been rolled over or stuck or mudded. I don't know, but it is reliable, and I've used it on the farm for quite some time now. So this is, again, the Titan rack. This is a system right here that we use for mounting our chainsaw. It's called a saw haul, and I keep a bucket on the back of each unit for hauling tracks. Here's a bucket there, and a bucket there. These seats are cheap to replace. When I bought this one, the seat was torn here and it was torn here. This is a 2022 model. It had 20 hours on it, and I think it was pieced together a little bit. I'm not quite positive what the heck was going on. This is, again, another Kolpin type ratcheting. It's called a Rhino grip. I'll post links to all this stuff in the video description there for you in case you're interested. Our fuel filler is right here. Brakes, super simple. We're gonna hop on the cockpit of this, but before we do that, we're gonna talk about what we have down here. So You can put a trailer hitch ball on the back of this, or you can put a receiver, and Honda makes a receiver. We got something different here. So we have the dual wishbone suspension on this Honda, okay? Versus a solid axle over here. So we've got 4-wheel independent suspension, which makes this machine ride a lot better, tons better. However, is it worth it? That's the big question. Well, this is the premium, and this is the not so premium. And there's lower models than the one that we have right here. This gets the job done, and so does this, with a little more luxury. And if you have a significant other or a kid, or I say a kid that's at least 16 years old, a young person that doesn't know how to operate the shifter, then this is the ticket. This is fully automatic dual clutch transmission. But that's not without its hangups either. Let's hop on and show you. Before we hop on, let's talk about this. You've got battery under here. You've got a little storage box, and I see my storage box is open. We need to close that. Under here is all your air filters and stuff, and you can see I've got some electronics back there because I put the rack with the seed spreader. The seed spreader goes ahead of the cows. We spread grass seed, and the cows hoof it in. This is a farm, guys. So let's go ahead and pop that seat back into place. Super simple. Bam, just like that. We'll hop up here. Nice footsteps, very firm, very strong. Stuff has to be tough for the farm, okay? So we have drive and we have low. I always keep it in drive unless I'm pulling something across the farm. No biggie. Like I said, when you buy a used piece of equipment, somebody beat that back straight. It was a bent handlebar and they beat it back straight. We'll turn it on. 268 miles on this, and it'll 56.9 hours, so basically a brand new machine. When you turn this on, let's say you leave it in gear, okay? So we'll start it. Shifting forward, it goes into drive. Click back, it won't go anywhere. You pull this little trigger on here, and then click back, and we go into reverse. Super simple, guys. This is much more simple and easier to operate than that critter over there, and we'll show you exactly how that works. You have automatic, or you can shift it electronically. There is no foot shifter right here on either one of these, and that's something we're going to talk about when we get over here to the Foreman. Shut this guy off. Now, listen, I'm going to turn the key back on, and you'll hear it kick itself out of gear. Hear that? It's recommended to put it in neutral and lock the brake prior to turning the machine off. That is something that I always hear to do. So just lock the brake, put it in neutral before you turn it off, and that way it doesn't get stuck in gear and you don't have any sort of major issue. This is your 4-wheel drive. Press that, and this locks the diff. All 4 wheels locked. So with it just like this in 2-wheel drive, then we save our turf, and it's really good. I will say this, with the Rubicon, with the dual clutch transmission on a farm, or on a gravel driveway, it tends to shift hard. It's punchy. It wants to go, and it downshifts to slow you down, which saves your brakes, but does not save your grass or your driveway. So that's something to take into consideration. There's a learning curve here, and if you're worried about it, you can still switch manual gears while in drive. So if you don't want it to hit real hard into second gear and turn up your grass, you can just manually do it. Super easy. You don't even have to let off of the throttle. This one, you have to let off of the throttle. So this is the Honda Foreman 500. This is a 2017 or 2018 model. I picked it up from my neighbor. This has the solid rear axle and cow poop all over the place underneath it. This shows a little bit of wear and tear. I've had this 4-wheeler for quite some time, and I unroll hay bales to the cows with it. See the difference? Solid axle versus fully independent suspension. Just a little bit different. This is a Rubicon 500, or excuse me, Foreman 500, Rubicon 520. So a little bit more displacement. There's no replacement for displacement. This is what happens when you break these Kolpin Rhino grips, and they do break, guys. So just understand, you're going to break them if you have them. I've got 2 up on the front. I used to have 2 over here. I broke those 2. I broke this one, and I broke this one. I'm hard on stuff, right? Same thing here. Instead of having the shifter, you got a little cubby. Do not put your phone in that cubby. It will be on the ground under your tire. Don't do it. A little pocket knife maybe, but not your phone, okay? So let's take a look. Let's just turn the key off. I don't know why it's on. This also has a little cubby right here, and I've got garage door openers and stuff like that inside. Power outlet here, same as over there. I've got a little phone mount on this critter that I never ever use. In fact, there we go. We'll get rid of that. Put that in the trash bucket. Same thing, seat's a little smaller. You see that? Seat doesn't go quite as far. So the seat on the Rubicon goes up almost to here. So this is a little bit smaller of a sitting platform. If you were hauling passengers like you and your lady friend, or you and your guy friend, or whatever, however you live, the seat's a little bit smaller. So a little bit better for cuddling, I'll just say that. I keep a towel or a rag on each one of my machines, most of my machines. Normally there'd be one over there to wipe my seat off before I sit in it. And I treat my seats with a little bit of Armor All, and that makes them hold up. This machine is stored outside nearly 100% of the time, and it has not really faded. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm going to talk to you about finish here in just a second, because this red goes through and through. Check it out. It's red through and through, right? Check it out. Here's what I do when I service the machine, okay? I service it, I write it down in that little spot right there. It's mine, so why not do that? Okay, so let's walk on around and we'll show you this. Let's talk about finish. So the finish on this is more like a paint, okay? Let's open this up. See, it's black on the other side. So this is gonna not hold up as well. Your finish is beautiful, that beautiful Honda blue, but it's not going to hold up as well as the red finish right here, or the green, or I believe the black that goes through and through on these Hondas. I really like it. Fuel filler's in the same place. Cockpit, all the controls are virtually the same. There is no foot shifter over here, and I recommend, if you're going to get a farm machine, have both. Have the foot shifter and the finger shifter, okay? It's important to know. Now, we'll start this critter up, same thing. This is a little magnet that I hang my key on in the shop sometimes. I just keep it on there, might as well. Fire this guy up. Engine's got a little bit of a different sound to it, okay? I am experiencing a little smoke on this machine. Let's see what we got here. 1,700 miles, so 1,000 more miles on this thing. And how many hours do we have, which is important. Same thing, cockpit controls, except we don't have the switch for the automatic and we don't have the dual clutch transmission. Let's see, we have 1741, 361.4 hours on this machine. Does it run just as good as that one? Absolutely. Does it run as good as this one? Questionable. I really like this machine. So let's go over there and look at the last machine. Same thing with accessibility wise. Batteries under here, you can still get to it with the Kolpin rack on here. Let's talk about the differences in the racks. This is a Kolpin rack. This is the tailgate on the Kolpin rack. So we pull this pin, and this has a drop down tailgate. Is it useful? Maybe if you're hauling firewood or something like that, but really, if you're gonna haul firewood, you're probably gonna use your pickup truck or side-by-side anyway. I have not found that to be a game changer at all, but it does have more options. It's built a little bit more robust, so it's tougher. This is much tougher than this itty-bitty stuff right here, and let me tell you, this itty-bitty stuff is already broken. So, you get what you pay for. This is made of what we call Chinesium. This is probably made of Chinesium, but it's better. I do say it's better. It holds up better. It's just a little bit better built. Okay, around to the front, comparing the two front racks. I love this rack. This thing is awesome. It doesn't lengthen the four-wheeler, and you'll see in just a second, this one lengthens the four-wheeler. Look at that. So we've got a lot more space up here, but is it usable space? Can I throw a cooler in that without strapping it down? Yes. Here, no. Is it more robust? It's pretty strong. I haven't had any breakage or anything like that. However, I would say when I replace this, I'll probably go with a basket style, just like this. I do like that, but it makes the four-wheeler a pain in the butt to load. This will hit the back glass of your pickup truck, okay? Something to think about. Food for thought, guys. I hope you're liking the video. Hit that like button. Now, moving on to the king of all kings. I picked this four-wheeler up used from a fella that bought it and took it riding one time and decided he wanted to get himself a side-by-side. Side-by-side pricing. We're going to talk about pricing and all this here in just a minute. So this is a 2023 Honda Rubicon Foreman $520. A little bit different. The rims are just a little bit different. They don't have the silver markings on them. This one is clean as a whistle. I bought it off an adult, older gentleman, and you can see up under here, it's just got a little cow poopy. But you can also see that this finish is something that you're really gonna have to take care of. When you're rubbing, your knees are rubbing up here. If you're really covered in dirt, you're gonna wear this finish off. Look inside, right here, and you can see it's the same black. So this finish is some sort of a dip. I know you guys know, so please let me know what you think about that. This one's due for a service. Same exact machine as that one over there. There is no camo on the headlight assembly right here, which I found to be a little bit interesting. It's still very, very sharp, very crisp machine. No rack, okay? So no external rack or extra rack on this one. I thought I would use this one more as a trail machine and less as a farm machine. This is for getting to where the cows are without having to haul anything. I may upgrade it to some other cool racks. We want to find a rack company that makes a good quality American-made rack for this critter right here. So again, I love the Hondas. Right back here where you can mount your hitch ball, or we have a apparatus that you clip on here. You basically take these two bolts off and you can put a receiver hitch so you can change them in and out. We're always moving stuff on the farm, and the ATVs are super handy for moving stuff. Again, that wishbone suspension versus the solid axle. These are the factory tires, very similar. They're a Maxxis tire. This is an aftermarket tire from Wanda. Now, Wanda is holding up really well, and they were only about 350 bucks. So I do like those Wanda tires. Going into here, I'll open this critter up. You can see this was well taken care of. It's clean as a whistle in here. It's got the original factory battery, factory strap holding the battery in, toolbox, everything like that. I bought this off of a very reputable fella, and he did me right. Why did I buy used Honda Rubicons? Saves yourself a little bit of money. If you can't stand it and you want a brand new one and you don't want something that's been touched by anybody, go buy yourself a new one. If you comb and you watch Marketplace, Craigslist and stuff like that, you can come on good deals and you can come on not so good deals. I paid $8,100 for this. I paid $9 grand for this. These machines, brand new, cost around $13,500-ish for a fully loaded Rubicon, and around $75 to $95 for a Foreman 500. You're looking at $23,500-ish for a Pioneer 1006, and I think you're looking at about $16,500 or $18,500 for a new Kubota. Double check those prices, because I'm not totally sure about the Kubota RTV X1140. I haven't done a lot of research on them in years. I just know I like the machine. It's reliable, it's bulletproof, and it's super slow. So that's the rub. That's the rub on farm machines and recreational machines. I don't have a Can-Am. I can't tell you about a Can-Am. I don't have any other machines other than the Hondas and the Kubotas. Now, we may have some other machines come on the farm. We'll try those out, give you an honest review, tell you what they're all about. I like the Kubota, the hydrostatic. It's great. That's a good farmhand vehicle right there, and it's tough as nails. You ain't gonna hurt it. You can load up a bunch of stuff in the back of that. Same thing with the Honda, except for it goes really fast, and you probably don't want, I guess you can restrict the speed on it, but you probably don't want your farm help or your kids ripping around on that. That might be a little bit better. When I say kids, young adults that help on the farm or help on the property. This Honda Rubicon, absolutely awesome. That's my luxury model. This is my workhorse that I work all the time, and this goes ahead of the cows. Every machine has a purpose on the farm, and when we have folks over that are helping us out, why do you need all these machines, Josh? Because people need something to get around on a large piece of property. We're on 150 acres, and to walk from one end of the property to the other takes about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. We don't have time to do that when we're out here building fences and taking care of cows in an emergency situation. So that's it. That's all the machines here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. I hope this will help you guys to make the right decision for your farm. If it's two of you, get you a nice Rubicon, a big seat on it. If it's a budget model and you want to get the same job done, get you a nice Foreman. It's going to be a little bit snugger in the cockpit. If you've got kids or if you're hauling a bunch of people around all the time, get you something with 4 seats in it, like the Honda 1006 side-by-side or the Kubota RTV X1140. Each one of those will fit a full round bale in the back of it, and that's super handy. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day. Hope this helped you out. We'll see you on the next video. Woo!
Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge.
Josh, Stoney Ridge farmer, blocking the side-by-side that I want to show. Here we go. It's gonna take a little time. All right, folks. Hi, 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 hi. Come here, you smart dog. You smart doggy. Sit down and give me a hug. Sit down and give me a hug. Yes, sir.